my goodness. Najee. Kenny Pickett also. And he banks out. No, oh my, what's going on? Let's go, TD! What the hell was that? Let's go! Feed it! Yes! Let's go! Oh, holy dooly. G'day, guys. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. Gene says, my mum says you are late. Yes. Also, guys, let me know if you can, and I might even do a poll. I think that might be too loud, that intro, because it kind of like burns my ears, but it's a lot of fun because that's still the Najee Harris play, man. It's fantastic. But we have a good show today. Today, we're talking about the Steelers quarterback room. It just got interesting, but I do have a special guest. You know her from the Syndicate and from SteelersNation.com. Makenzie Miller, what's going on, mate? How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm pretty fired up, man. You look like a very happy chappy today. Are you know, the season's coming around the corner. The Steelers are making big moves.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are you excited for this season? I am.
How can you not be excited for this season? I feel like this is the year that we have been waiting for such a long time, dude. Come on. Can you not agree with that?
No, I subscribe to it 100%. So also we got some big news. You're doing, of course, you work with the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate every week, do a live stream there, talking to everyone in Steeler Nation. But you're also doing a new project with Steelers Nation Multimedia on YouTube and SteelersNation.com. Do you want to expand your role there and what you're doing with that platform?
Yeah, so I started a daily short show. Every morning, you can hear little bits of news that you may have missed from the day before about the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's kind of like wake up, have your coffee, hear a little bit of news, then go on with your day. So I'm really excited about that. This week was the first week that we started it. So if you guys want to check it out on my Twitter, I will always be posting the links daily. And yeah, it's super fun. I always love talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah, so it's called, from memory, it's called 15 Minutes with Mac, right? Is that correct?
So right? So it's called Good Morning Steeler Nation, 15 Minutes with Mac. So it's, good morning, y'all.
And there's a lot happening. Let's be honest. Like, there is a lot happening in the news, right? We just got Mason Rudolph. There's Quan Alexander's been to... Oh, actually, we haven't got Mason Rudolph yet. It's been reported that he's coming there. I would be shocked, though, if he doesn't sign, because in his text, he did say he was signing with the Steelers. But there's a lot going on. Before we get into it, is there any other news that's kind of like jumping out at you for the last day or two?
No, I thought I heard that he ended up signing. I don't know.
He did like sign for sure?
I'm not sure. I just see a Rudolph officially signed, I think, from my insider peeps. They say that he signed, but we aren't. I guess we'll just have to wait and see officially when that comes out. So.
Yeah, I do think it's legit anyway, because there was one picture from, I think, Kevin Adams is a bloke over there in Pittsburgh, a media guy, and he texts back to Mason Rudolph's phone saying, "Are you back?" or something like that. And Mason Rudolph said, "Yeah, I'm going back for a 1-year deal." So it's coming from the source himself. No, he's number 4. Wait a minute. Hold up. Gene says is he number 4? Like, he's going to wear number 4? What? That's crazy.
Let me see.
We have breaking news on the show. I never get to do that.
Well, I guess we have some breaking news today. Mason Rudolph, let's see, 9 hours ago. No, I'm trying to see. 3 hours ago, Steelers to resign. Let me see. I'm not sure.
I guess Tanner Morgan's wearing number 2, so if he's going to wear number 4, do we have a number 4 on the roster? I don't know if we do or not.
I don't think we do. I don't think we do.
Right. He's quarterback number 4. Okay, I see. Anyways, we're going to discuss it, though, because I want to get your thoughts on this whole idea of the quarterback room, right? What are your initial reactions to Mason Rudolph coming back to the Steelers?
So, here is what I think.
Hold on. Here we go.
I like it. You guys.
Oh, you're not allowed to. You meant to hate Mason Rudolph. You're not allowed to, mate. I'm sorry.
No more of this I hate Mason Rudolph crap. You guys, we saw what Mitchell Trubisky was made of last season. Now, I don't know about you, but I do not want Mitchell Trubisky being Kenny's backup anymore, especially after the way he performed last season after he got benched. You would think that he would at least try and show some, oh, you guys, it's okay. I still can come in and say, no. At least Mason came in when Ben had COVID and at least he tied the game. Mason tied the Lions, whatever, not the best accomplishment, but we didn't lose. So, in my opinion, I think that Mason Rudolph is more accurate with his throwing. That's just one thing because we saw Mitch.
I do too, actually. Yeah,
like we've seen Mitch throw the ball like very, very far out of their wingspan, and it just kind of boggles my mind that he is still wasting $10 million.
Well, okay. Here's the point. Here's the point. Then, do you think there's a chance that look? Obviously, when Mason Rudolph signed yesterday, or was going to sign, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Steel Nation thinks straight away he's going to be quarterback number 3. But why do we subscribe to that? Why can't he come in here and compete to be number 2? Now he won't be number 1. It's not going to happen. Nobody should be number 1. If I hear any media sports outlet talking to you, Chat Sports, out there say if there is a quarterback competition at quarterback number 1, then you should delete your channel immediately. It's Kenny Pickett's time. It's KPA. But going for quarterback number 2, do you think there's a chance that Mason Rudolph can be our backup? Because everyone's saying he's going to be number 3, but why can't he come in to compete? They're bringing him in for a chance. They want to see the best player available. It's not just because Mitch has paid the most money doesn't mean he'll be number 2. I see it like an open competition between those two fellas. What do you think?
I agree. If they don't ship Mitch off, if they don't shop him around, then I would hope that the Steelers would let Mason compete for that second position because we all know what it's like having Mitch as a backup. And honestly, having Mason as a backup was better for the Steelers, even when we had Ben, even when we didn't we knew Ben was retiring, right? We knew Ben wasn't where he was, when we got him. We had to have someone come in and get the job done. Now we have fresh meat. We have Kenny, someone who is the guy that we are going to buy in on. But there's a chance he's going to go down at some point this season. I really hope he doesn't. But the chance that he does, we need to be prepared. And I think Mason has that experience with the Steelers of being prepared, knowing what to do. The stakes are high. Honestly, for me, the stakes are higher. So, in my opinion, I would like to see Mitch gone, Kenny 1, Mason 2, Tanner 3. I will be satisfied.
We're going to explore that point on Tanner Morgan too. I want to bring up another point here from Corey S. We have some breaking news. Hakeem Butler just signed with the Steelers, and I saw an article there too in the last 30 minutes. I want to point out that I did a video on Hakeem Butler, and I said he might have a chance of signing. And some people are like, oh, he won't sign. He's from the XFL. Yo, this guy's huge. Have you seen this bloke? He's 6'4". 6'5". He can play. He can also play in the slot too. He's a pretty physical, athletic receiver. And he got the most touchdowns in the XFL with 8. This is not a bad signing at all. The Pittsburgh Steelers, yet again, are doing moves that make sense. Is he going to make the team? Maybe, maybe not. Right? But why not bring him in to camp? And they now have 89 players that are there, I think. And of course, getting Rudolph back too. But I might even do a follow-up video after this and talk about Hakeem Butler because it's a good signing because the Steelers have got Washington, they got Muth, they got Pickens, they got everyone's down on DJ, but give DJ another chance, mate. He's a great route runner. I saw a video of him running routes on Twitter. Looks fantastic. He'll be back to his best. Calvin Austin in the mix. They got Miller has a chance to get there. I think Oshesky's done, but people they say, oh, he's from the XFL, he won't do anything, And we're going to bring up your guy soon, Makenzie, about the other guy from the XFL from San Antonio Brahmas, the cornerback. But great signing. What are your quick thoughts on Hakeem Butler? Have you heard about this player before?
I've heard of him. I'm just doing some research on him right now. Just some stats. It said that he had 8 touchdowns.
8 TDs.
8 touchdowns leading the league this season. He had 51 catches. 599 yards.
He was second. He was second in the league in the XFL in the 10 weeks for receiving yardage, and he was first in the league for TD. So, and obviously, I always come back to the way the season's been going with Omar Khan, the Steelers, everyone like this, right? It's It's been such a great off season. You've got to trust the process. You get a guy like this that can sign into the 90-man roster. To me, it's a win. It's a win. Now, will they make the team? We don't know. No one knows. We know it's going to be George Pickens, Deontay, probably Robinson. I forgot about Robinson the vet, and Calvin Austin. But you get another guy who's 6'4", who's a target for Kenny, or even put him on the practice squad. It could be, develop into a role too. It's a pretty good signing, man. Like it's a great signing. So I don't know. I just think that some people look at the word XFL and go, well, he can't make the team. But it's like the XFL was pretty competitive this year. We might as well go into it now. I want to talk about you brought up and we're going to go back to Mason in a minute. But you brought up to me in the green room and said the new cornerback that is been signed for the Steelers from the San Antonio Brahmas. Who is that bloke? You want to expand on him?
Yeah. So his name is Luke Barku.
That's right, Luke Barku.
Barku. It's Barcoo. And his name is spelled Luq. Luke. So a little bit about Luke. He is coming from, like you said, San Antonio. I don't even know how to pronounce that name. The Brahms.
Brahmas. It's a play on the Brahma bull, like the rock. It's like a cow / bull or something like that. It's Brahma. Yeah, I think it's Brahma because like you remember the Rock in WWE who was called the Brahma bull. It's based off that.
Okay, that would make sense why he was there at the championship. He was there.
The Rock's going. The Rock's actually the XFL was quite successful this year. Even though it was a 10-week season, it was pretty successful. And yeah, one of the teams is called San Antonio Brahmas, and it's based off, of course, the Steelers colors. And Hines Ward is the guy. But the Steelers have signed the cornerback. I forgot his name again. Luke, is it?
Luke Barku.
Luke Barku. Okay.
Yeah. So a little bit about him. So his college history consists of playing at a JUCO for 2 years. Then he transferred to San Diego State. He then ended up being, I'm pretty sure, the leading corner at the end of his time. But then he ended up being undrafted. Right. And he ended up getting picked up by the Jaguars. Only got to see 3 games, maybe. That's the only time he ever saw playing time in the NFL. Even though he jumped around to the Arizona Cardinals and a few other teams, he ended up in the XFL. But he led the XFL this season in his position. So I'm excited about this guy because Mike Tomlin talked about earlier this week after rookie minicamp, they're looking for pedigree in their men, right? College pedigree in particular, seeing what they've done, if they have any leadership skills, just their ability to adapt and change. I'm pretty sure Barku played wide receiver at one point. So he's been, yeah. So this guy's an athlete. He also, I was going to say DeMonte KZ also went to San Diego State. So it's not the first guy that we've seen come out of that defensive program. So I'm excited for him to get a chance to fight for a spot with the team.
But he's from the XFL. He won't make it, so it's fine. It's look. I know we have our guys who are penciled in, but I think and you can maybe give me your opinion too on this, Makenzie. But for me, it's like what they're doing this year is bringing guys in to be competitive. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the depth chart is just growing from the offensive line, Herbigs to defensive line, and going at Benton to Armand Watts to Braden Fahoko. They're building those guys to where when it comes down to cut time, you have the best players on the team. So if this bloke makes it, cornerback or even Hakeem Butler makes it, fantastic, right? But let's go back. Let's go back to Mason Rudolph because I really want to stick around this point for a little bit. Please explain to me why he gets so much hate. I don't understand it.
Mason?
I really don't. Yes, I don't understand it.
Because it's you know what it is? It's after the whole Myles Garrett thing, people just started kind of hating on him. And then I guess when he got benched for Duck, which was such a long time ago, if you think about it, that was a really long time ago. Duck has not been on our team for a while now. So people need to kind of calm down and take a seat. Duck had his glory moment. Then Duck got benched. Then Duck decided he's not going to be playing in the NFL anymore. He ain't playing anymore, and Mason still is. And we saw Mason improve. So I really don't want to hear people say, well, they benched him for Duck. like one time 5 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
go away with that. I don't want to. I don't want to hear that.
You know what? I've never seen it. Maybe it's a new social media age. I've never seen Steeler Nation or a fan base worry about a quarterback three so much. If he's going to be quarterback three, right? I've
Right.
never seen it. You've got Kenny Pickett, he's your guy. Trubisky, if it goes this way, Trubisky number two, then Mason three. There is zero worry. Back when I was watching in my first few seasons, 2004, right? I brought this analogy up on in hindsight on the unofficial Steelers podcast just did them before, and I said we didn't worry about like when I'm watching the game when I was little, I didn't worry about the third quarterback. Didn't even know who it was. You know, do you think it's more or less social media and this game that you and I play now, being media, not journalists, but media, people on the internet talking football? Like it
Listen.
has to be, right? Well,
Oh my God.
it shouldn't matter. Quarterback three, Mason Rudolph. You go to camp, you throw some footballs, you get better. There should be no hate towards that. Bringing a guy in for that. You won't even see him play. What do you reckon?
I mean, it's just ridiculous how much the media takes something that one person said, runs with it, creates a full narrative behind it, just continuing to just look at the negatives. And I don't want to hear it. It's the people out there, you know what I mean? It's annoying. Like let them do what they got to do. I think right now what we've seen around the NFL in regards to their backup quarterbacks, and maybe QB3s, in my opinion, I think the role needs to be taken a little bit more seriously because we saw what the San Francisco 49ers did.
I agree. I agree. It does. Yes.
And so they had built a team where if man one goes down, man two will be ready. If man two goes down, man three will be ready. And what did their man three do? Take them to the playoffs. They were one game away from going to the Super Bowl with their third string quarterback. So for everyone that's saying, well, Mason's just going to sit on the bench, or, well, it's okay, he ain't going to do anything. Why? We want these men to be prepared to do something. We can't diminish their talents. We saw Mitchell Trubisky last year try and do that for us, and it was an epic fail. Mason Rudolph wasn't even suited up at one point. He wasn't eligible to play when we needed him. We needed him last season to be on board, but we just talk so much crap about him that we forget that he actually can come in and save the day. And that's just what
he started before. He started the season. He's won games. I don't understand how there's so much hate towards a bloke that's won games in the wearing the black and gold. You know, when Big Ben went down, he started, and of course he got smacked up by Garrett and Old Thomas, which was terrible, and he got concussed. But he's come in here before. He's won games, and there's people saying, well, the other 31 teams didn't want him. I don't believe that actually. That 31 teams that no one called him an NFL player. Not one team didn't call him. I don't subscribe to that narrative. I think that teams would have called him and they would have said, "Do you want to have this contract?" Blah blah blah. Back and forth. Like you're in the actress business. People call you and you deny jobs, right, all the time, or say yes or no, right? You discuss things. Just because he didn't sign with a team doesn't mean that no one called him. I don't know. I don't subscribe to that 31 teams didn't want him, so he came back to the Steelers. I think that he has a pretty good look on the Steelers with, like, he knows the offense, he understands the coaches, he probably lives here, of course, right? Everything's here. So he found the best deal for him. The best deal is signing the 1-year deal right now and being QB3 and then trying to be QB2 and see what happens. So I just really don't understand how so much people can put so much hate towards someone that was winning football games. And, he's not the best player out there, but we won't even see him this year. And everyone was like, well, we need a quarterback three. And the minute we get a quarterback three, they complain who it is. Yeah, they're never happy. The wind blows, Makenzie, the wind blows in Pittsburgh, and someone's upset.
I'm looking at this comment that someone just wrote and literally repeated everything. They must have just came in because, like, what I just said is the exact reason why he is wanted. First of all, I think Tomlin didn't want to lose him. I think they saw that he has the ability to come in and win games. Did Mitch do that last season? No. Which is more of a reason why I think they're trying to shop around Mitch. But At the same time, what if no one else wants Mitch? Then we're stuck with him, and then we'll have to see Mason and Mitch compete for that QB2 if the coaches even allow that. Because last season we saw it fall into place as I feel like it should have, quote unquote, as the story should have been written. That's why the coaches started Mitchell Trubisky over Kenny Pickett. And then we all knew that Kenny would come in. At least I knew that Kenny would come in at least throughout the season. And I think at the point that Mason was in a position where he knew he probably wasn't going to be played, because if man one goes to number two, number three isn't really looked at a lot. So I think Mason just got put into a corner, and it's all this negativity surrounding him just spiraled. And we had to take a step back and look at the reality. Mitch is not a good QB2. Mason was a good QB2. He came in for Ben and saved the games. So I don't really know how else to defend this point.
There's even an idea to, like, honestly, if knock on wood, if Kenny goes down, Mitch goes down, and you're relying on QB3, you're not going to win anything. I'm sorry, you're just not. It's not going to happen in the NFL. It's really hard to go and win with your quarterback number 3. So I don't know.
And it's hard to have a good attitude in the locker room when people are constantly hating on you. So I don't blame him for wanting to get in and out of the facility fast.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I would do. I would be like, if I don't feel wanted, I'm gonna get out of there. And I think maybe some chitter chatter was going on in the I think they had to probably have a conversation and really, really tell Mason, hey, we want you. You're a Steeler. We don't want you to think that you're not wanted here. So I think it must have just been a huge miscommunication in the aspect of him not feeling wanted, because your attitude is going to change if you don't feel wanted on a team.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. It's not even that the team doesn't want Mason. It's more or less like, I think, in this idea of the drama surrounding it. It's like fans, and we know that sports players, they try and say they're going to block out the noise, but there's definitely circumstances where they will be checking Twitter, the news articles, podcasts, this and this, whatever, right? And then they'll be like, well, because there was a bit of a disagreement near the end, I think, where Mason was trying to find other teams, but you know what? At the end of the day, like, I'm okay with him coming back to play football. He's gonna want to play football if he does suit up. And also, going that far, we won't want to see him. If Trubisky, if it's gonna be Kenny, Trubisky and Mason, we will never see him. He's just that guy that has to fill in if the two goes down. That's my most common point. Steeler fans are so annoyed that he's coming back and playing football for the Steelers. But in reality, we don't want to see him, right? We never want to see him play. So I don't know how people can win or lose in this argument. It's more or less, to me, should be focused around Kenny Pickett and see what he can do in his progression. And Trubisky can be there to be the backup. He did play very well backup when he came in to win the Bucs game. Didn't play very well when he had to play the Ravens game, right? So I don't know. I think it's a whole lot of hogwash. I reckon without, if I didn't have this platform, if I didn't have any social media, I would watch my games in a bar and I go, who's that guy carrying a clipboard? Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't matter, right? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think this stuff is just over dramatized way too much. Yeah. He's going to sign a $2 million deal. He's going to play prison football. He's going to put some players and guys into reps. He's going to, go through the motions and be in the meeting rooms and help out and help Kenny out. And I'm going to ask you this question, Makenzie. Do you think Kenny is upset that Mason's there? No. So why are we pissed off that Kenny isn't upset? He's not going, oh, I can't believe we signed him.
That's
crazy, right?
Why would you say that? And Mason wasn't even eligible to play in the last game. Like, I think that's a stupid argument people are making, that like about his attitude is why they don't want him back. Well, his attitude's probably changed now that they re-signed him, so they don't want an unhappy player in their locker room. And I disagree with this. Frosty says
Mason powdered around at the back door. He's weak. I don't think you can say that. How do we know that? Come on, man. How do we know?
He wasn't even eligible.
What I don't understand is, and Michael says he love how we can hate the third string. I just don't understand how it's even an idea. Like I said with my analogy before, growing up watching the Steelers when I was little, I didn't even know who Brian St. Pierre was, right? In that 2004 season, the third quarterback didn't throw one pass. So why is Steeler Nation that it feels like it's like topic. So something's going to happen in the next 2 days. We'll forget about it. We'll go into the season. It'll be Kenny Pickett. It'll be Mason. Trubisky, and then we'll just forget about it, right? Until we see him play. But the thing is, how the yinzers are on the internet, Kenny Pickett's going to throw one pick and they're going to go, oh, put Trubisky in. You know what I mean? They're going to, it doesn't make any sense.
Man. Oh. And I just want Trubisky off our team at this point. I think Tanner Morgan has a good chance of showing something. His stats in college were pretty good. He has a lot of leadership qualities. He played for 6 years in college. He took advantage of that COVID year. So he has a lot of playing time, a lot of leadership skills that you kind of need. Like we said, third man, man one, man two go down. You need a leader to step up. And if you don't embody those qualities, regardless if you're a QB3, what do you have on your team? That's why I'm talking about why it's important to have someone like a Brock Purdy lined up, ready to go. Like I'm excited for Tanner Morgan just to compete. I just want to be able to see him get a chance at least to be a part of the team. They liked him for a reason. They brought him in for a reason. Mike Tomlin spoke a lot of good things about him too.
Yeah, and Todd makes a point here and says, if you disagree with the opinion, fine, just don't call me stupid. I'm not calling anyone stupid. I'm not doing that to anyone in the chat at all. What I'm saying is, in this opinion, I'm not calling you out. I'm not calling Frosty out. I'm not calling anyone out. What I'm saying in this opinion, right, of mine, I'm saying that I think this thing is over-dramatized because, and I feel like Mason Rudolph is never given a shot. He's never been given a shot at all. Big Ben was in his way. Big Ben set the whole precedent from the beginning. Big Ben never gave him a chance. Went on record and said, I don't want to teach him. Therefore, that told Steeler Nation, basically, if Big Ben doesn't like him, then we don't give him a chance. I'm not calling anyone stupid. I respect everyone's opinion, and I go back and forth, and we can have a discussion. But I agree with you. The first time someone calls me dumb or stupid, you're getting blocked. And if I were to call you on the other side, then if you never came back to the channel, that's fine. That's fantastic, right? It goes both ways. What I'm saying in this discussion is, and why I wanted to bring it up, because the quarterback room, everyone on Twitter went crazy about Mason Rudolph coming to the Steelers. That's a bad move. But to me, in reality, it's a really good move because he knows the team. He's been there 4 or 5 years. He's not going to be accounted upon. He's there for emergency quarterback, like you said, Makenzie, with the 49ers situation. If it goes that way, and even if it does go that direction, they're not going to win a Super Bowl. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. So to me, it's a good move on all parts. And Mason Rudolph came back and is going to sign the 1-year deal. I'm not calling anyone stupid. I just find this thing so funny that the social media goes nuts.
They're crazy.
Absolutely nuts because they signed a quarterback number 3. But if he's going to be at quarterback number 3, then we should never talk about him at all during the season, right, Makenzie?
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna shut up and wait for the season to come around and let the players do the talking. We'll let the players do the talking.
Yeah, it just doesn't. I don't know. I think we get over. Maybe it is the lack of football that we're not seeing, but of course, look, everyone's got their opinion. That's what we have the internet for, right? Everyone can talk whatever they want to. I'm just lucky, and then I do put my voice on the airwaves now, and so do you, Makenzie, too. So I guess, and I don't want to get into a discussion of who's better, who's wrong, who's right, who's whatever. But I think that the overall signing is just a bloke coming in back to the team. Just a guy that's played for them. He played for them in 2019 when Big Ben went down. And now you have a lot of depth there. We've been talking about depth with Omar Khan and building the roster, but he's not gonna start. So Frosty says, "Don't worry, mate. All good chat." Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I just wanted to bring that point up because I am known for giving everyone a chance with their opinion, but I do dislike in any chat, if it is me or DK or Makenzie's spot there in Syndicate or wherever, I do dislike when someone calls someone, you're an F-tard, you're a this, you're a that because of your opinion. Now, the opinion can be false. Like, I'm not going to agree with the opinion. If someone says, I don't agree that Mason should be on the team, fine. But when you start to attack someone, that's where it doesn't make any sense to me. But you got any final thoughts on the Mason Rudolph stuff before we get into any more topics?
No, I think I'm good. I think I'm good on that. I'm just gonna.
How's Tucker?
Tucker wants his food. Tucker's hungry. Come on, Tucker. Come here.
Yeah.
He just upset me.
Yeah, look, I don't know. Maybe if he did sign with someone else and then we got Tanner Morgan, but I get this feeling that the Steelers want to see what's going to happen with quarterback number 2 with Trubisky or the backup. You're obviously going to see Tanner Morgan and now Rudolph into camp. There's going to be camp battles for number 2. So yeah, I don't know. Exactly right. Opinions are neither right or wrong. That's why we have. That's why we have the internet.
Yes, my opinion doesn't matter. Keep that in mind.
You know what? At the end of the day, no one's opinion matters. Besides
No
the
one's
Steelers.
opinion matters. It really doesn't. Everyone has an opinion, and it doesn't
Nah.
really matter. They're just opinions.
If it comes down to right, where knock on wood, Kenny goes out, Trubisky goes out, then we have to cheer on Rudolph. I'm sorry, we have to. What else? If we're week 4 in and we've got Rudolph for the whole season, what else are you gonna do? Turn it off? Are you gonna g'day Tucker? Are you gonna turn off the Steelers season and
never watch again?
Yeah, because of one player. Anyways, I thought that was interesting. What are your thoughts? There's also ideas to on who was the other bloke? There's other thoughts about Kyle Van Noy coming to the Steelers. Is there anything to that? I did see made a video about it. He did the eye emojis to Braden Fahoka. There's been a few reports about it. Would you see that guy coming to the Steelers as outside linebacker?
I don't. I saw that he was really good at his position, but I don't know enough about him to speak on that.
Yeah, he can play. He can play outside. He can play also inside too. The only reason I brought him up is because I go through the Twitter now. I feel like these players send out
cryptic tweets.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because the JJ Watt stuff got me. Did the JJ Watt stuff get you? Did you see JJ Watt stuff as well?
Did it get me? It got me. It got me thinking people don't have brains.
Well, that was me. I was excited. I was like, I wanted to see.
Serious, Mark? The man retired. Dude, at his heart. You think he's really going to step back and come into play because we're the Pittsburgh Steelers? Come on now. No offense to us, but I don't think someone would risk their health to come out of retirement to play with their brothers. If anything, you got to look at the picture as a whole. Both your brothers play in the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're not going to be this big man on a high horse saying, I'm going to waltz into the Pittsburgh Steelers whenever I want to see my brothers. No, you're going to want an invitation. That's the whole point of him reaching out to Mike Tomlin. Hey, can I come to your facility so I can see my brothers? Of course. Who would want to go in and say, let me come. Let me come. No, he was just being polite. He was establishing a repertoire with Mike Tomlin. I'm sorry, but I couldn't even believe that for a second. These are why rumors are.
I saw it, and I don't really, believe them either. But the more it went back and forth, I was like, maybe there's a possibility that he might come out of retirement because of the tweets back and forth. I was like, hang on, there could be a chance. But he squashed the rumors now. But then it started filling up because Ike Taylor talked about how, have your phone ready if you're in shape, that kind of stuff. So look, I'm not saying that he came onto a part of my take on a podcast, I think on a massive podcast in America somewhere, and said that he won't do it because he's now too busy with family and stuff like that. But I don't know, for a little bit, I was like, my brain was overloading and thinking, God, it was good. If you've got 1 year, if he had limited reps playing with his brother on the same line, then that's the cherry on top. Omar Khan's been making all these moves. I was like, man, this is going to be fantastic. Yes, Yuli. Yuli says, having the live chat button on mobile say live chat, but then tell you to move is dumb. Have you seen that, Makenzie, on your new phones?
No.
Yeah, so on the phones now, on your mobile device, where you normally push live chat, right? It then tells you to move one step down. Like you go push the live chat, and it should take you to the normal live chat where you are, and then it says, oh, by the way, the live chat has moved, click the button below. So what they should be doing is just have the button below and no live chat in the middle. It's funny that Yuli brought it, because I thought the exact same thing, Yuli. I was like, what is going on? Yeah. Yes.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Yeah, so Corey says here, I don't believe the rumors, but wouldn't be opposed. Exactly right, and that's why I brought it up. And I thought there was a chance because Mike Tomlin and JJ Watt were talking back and forth. You know what? I don't know. It's the one that it was a 1% chance. Now he's squashed it, right? But any other news? Any other news you've heard around Steel Land?
I don't think so. I think that's all. That's Matt Canada got a contract extension.
Did he? No, I don't think he did. I think that was a rumor, wasn't it not?
Or there are talks about him getting a contract extension.
Yeah, I think it's talks. What are your thoughts on the Matt Canada situation? Are you going to give him a new chance?
I think okay. So I think the news is he could earn a contract extension if things go well this season offensively, which I think all directions point to we will have a good season. And I think all directions point to we will bring Matt Canada back. I know people don't like to hear it, but it's just what it is. Like, you want our offense to do well. Well, Matt Canada's going to probably look good. So,
yeah, I'm the same. Like, for me, like, I was yelling out Fire Canada left, right, and center, right, the first 4 weeks. But I'm going to give him a fresh start. I think with the personnel you have now, there's no more excuses. They're going to run the football. Darnell Washington, you got Jones in there, Cia Marlowe, new offensive line, Kenny year 2. I think this team should be averaging around 24 points a game, hopefully maybe 25. But yeah, I think a lot of Steeler Nation, we just have to. For me, cheering them on, you got to give them another chance, right? Do you not have to give them another chance? Where we're starting?
Yeah, I think we have to give them another chance.
And then if it's week 3 and we're losing, 17-3, then the pitchforks come out.
Yeah, pretty much how it goes, right?
All right, let's go to some questions. You guys want to feed some questions in the chat? We'll fire away for the next 5 or 10 minutes, and we might get on out of here. Steelcepticon says, of course, it's YouTube. There's a lot of stupid stuff. Yeah, it is pretty weird when you go to the live chat button. It forces you to go down the bottom, so it's very odd. He gets you're exactly right. Yeah, and the thing is with me with Canada is to now you gotta open the playbook up. They've been scoring less and less points each and every year. They were scoring, I think, 21. Then last year it was like 18. So you have to keep getting more points. No one you know says, nah, man, I ain't got it. I'm just gonna give them a fresh start. I think what you do with off season, what they've been building the new team, and going into September, give them the first 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and we'll see how the playbook develops. And you can't really go into the season saying fire Canada because it's not going to make too much sense. You can't be yelling fire Tomlin, fire this guy. To me, it doesn't make sense until you see what's happening in the season. Claude says, will Percy Harvin be the punch of the season? What do you think, Makenzie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he won't lose his job to Brandon.
I haven't looked into that fella and the new guy that we got. I haven't looked into him enough to make an opinion yet. But
the Jets guy. You go.
No. Go on.
I'm just gonna say, like, for me with Harvin, I think there could be a chance they may go a different direction, but it all depends on what Danny Smith wants and what the team, I guess, overall thinks of his ability. I think in terms of stats, looking at it, I think he's about average, but the same kind of thing. I think with a punter, you just want them to do their job, trying to get at least down in the 20-yard zone and out of bounds and not return too many kicks. I don't think it's going to have too much effect on the season if we do sign him or let him go. It's a punter, right? But it does, in terms of like field position, it's key. So will he return? I'd say yes, but I wouldn't mind seeing some competition in camp to push him that way, right?
Yeah.
It's not Percy Harvin, it's Presley. My bad. You guys tricked me. It's Presley Harvin.
Oh yeah.
Percy's the receiver.
Mark, I have to leave. I have to head out. Go to work.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for coming on.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody. It was good to chat with y'all. Good to see y'all again. And I hope you have a great rest of your show.
Yeah, awesome. Make sure you check out Makenzie on Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate and on Good Morning. What's the last one, Makenzie?
Good Morning Steeler Nation.
Yeah, it's Good Morning Steeler Nation. Awesome. All right, thanks, Makenzie. I'll check you later.
Bye, y'all. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, Hero, I'll kick you out. Hero. Alrighty, guys. So thank you, Makenzie, for coming to the show. George, I will get into your point in just a minute. I got a bit of a take on that too. Let me take on my headphones. Actually, you know what? I want to take a quick minute break or half a minute break, and I'm going to do the last 15 minutes of the show because George, I do have an idea around what you're talking about with the streams and stuff like that. Let me find. Give me one. Where'd I put it? I think I'm on. Okay, hang on.
It's the Steelers. What isn't there about it? Studs everywhere. Man, I'll play punter if they want me to. Whatever coach tells me, I'll play. Man, I love football. I love to play the game of football. I'm ready to play football. And I'm happy to be here. Just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be a part of this team. So I'm happy to be here. I love the game of football. I think it's an art. I think it should be played a certain way. And that's why I love to play the game. I just love football.
Alrighty, guys. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. By the way, guys, too, it is a nice rainy day. It's a rainy, cloudy day. Good for podcasting. Really good fun for podcasting. Got my jumper on. And yeah, I don't want to go outside today. I don't want to go outside and drive Uber. So today is going to be awesome. And I love it, man. I love it. So, George, I was going to get into your point here. I actually do have your question, I think, did I bring it up before? Is this it? No, hang on. I had your original comment. Here we are, George. So I've got a bit of a opinion on this too, right? Apparently, the playoff games want to go to Peacock, the streaming service. And you wrote this comment the other day. You said, "What are your thoughts on the NFL making a playoff game pay-per-view?" Heard that somewhere yesterday. Now, to be very honest, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. Do you know why? Because the minute you make this, the minute you make this one playoff game, hear me out. You make this one playoff game. What happens? Because I pay for Game Pass, so I pay $350 for the whole year, and I rarely even watch it. I only watch it during the season. But if you allow them to have one streaming service for one playoff game, I guarantee you, a lot like the international games, you will start to get more than one stream every single year. It's not a good thing. It comes down to money. The NFL is a greedy, big corporate business. They're a big business, and they're all about your dollar. That's what they're about. They're about selling the best games, having the best primetime games, the best players to sell back to you so you buy the jersey, all that kind of stuff. Now, if they allow this to happen and Peacock is the one streaming service that you have to go and buy Peacock, subscribe to that, so then you see the game, then next year or 2 years after, 3 years after, you will see not only like a game on Hulu or Netflix or Stan or someone like that, you will see them consistently trying to outsource these playoff games for higher prices to other streaming networks. Now, I'm a big fan of South Park, and actually South Park did a really good show on this. They called it the Streaming Wars. Now, when South Park was getting their, they had their season, every single streaming platform was going after them, trying to give them money, trying to find a certain place to be, right? Because we have so many streaming apps now. We have over 10, maybe 20 streaming apps that have movies, all this kind of stuff. The common man and common woman can't afford 3 or 4 or 5 streams. So by putting the NFL playoff game on Peacock, you then have to ask the viewer to spend another $8 or another $10 for that game. To me, it's not worth it. I hope they do nip in the butt. I hope the NFL says we want exactly right, because it'll end up being all playoff games. But I know how the NFL works. They're all about money, and they want to expand the game overseas. They want to expand the game. Thursday night football, that's still a thing. Monday Night Football, Black Friday, all these games, right? They're trying to make more money. So, yeah, to me, it's not good for the game. It's not good for the game of football, and it's asking the viewer to spend more money, basically. But the only thing I would say is, if it comes to that point, what I would say is exactly right. Exactly right. What I would say, yep, on the money. What I would say is, if you have to watch that playoff game or you want to, I would wait for a free trial. What I would do is I would get that 7-day window And 3 days before the game is announced, I would do a free trial, log in, log out, see you later. And you'll have about 30 million people doing a free trial for the Peacock service. And you watch the game, then turn it off. That's what I would have to do. Right? Gene says gambling. I gamble. I've been gambling all my life. Do I like it? Not really. Not really. A lot of Australians here gamble. It's not really a fun pastime. It's just more or less I've done it all my life, and I don't do it as much now. I do bet on the Steelers. I do bet on like the AFC North, stuff like that. But I'm not a big fan. I will never promote gambling on this channel. You'll see a lot of channels that promote gambling. I think gambling has a lot of consequences in life with money and stuff like that. I'd never bet the house. I never bet something I can't afford. But I'm not a big fan. I won't promote it, but I do it. Let's put it that way. Corey says, absolutely right. I agree with that. Thanks, Septicon, mate. I'll see you later. Oh, yeah, by the way, shout out to Makenzie, man. Mackenzie's going awesome. Mackenzie's doing some good things. Makenzie has a live show with Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. She's killing that. She loves talking her football. She's got a really keen sense for the Steelers. And now she has a new, in the description below, she's got a new podcasting platform. Good morning, Steeler Nation, 15 minutes with Mac. And every day you get 15 minutes with Makenzie on the audio side. So, yeah, it's cool. But, yeah, to summarize those points, not a big fan of promoting gambling, but I do gamble. I would never tell someone to go and do it, if that makes any sense. We watch it on Discord. Yeah, they could do that. Well, I've tried doing that. I think it was a bit buggy last time, but we could always do that in the future. Jane says, do you want to hear something funny? Yeah, I know. Well, even just the money in general, inflation and all this stuff like fuel and food and groceries and so much stuff I think is just insanely expensive. It's like the last 3 or 4, 5 years just went right up. So, yeah, I've even noticed when I was going down to play my pickleball competition and I was getting a hotel. The year before, the hotel for me was about $103, maybe $110. Then I went and bought the same hotel, the same dates a year after, and it was $165 a night. So it went up in 1 year. It went up $60 in one year. So there's a lot going on. But yeah, Toddy's right. It's money, money, money. I'm not a big fan of it. Also, I think is it ESPN's Pat McAfee today? He's signing a deal with ESPN, right? A guy that was homegrown on YouTube. But I see both sides. Some people are saying calling him out and calling him a sellout. But if someone's going to offer you that much money, you don't know what you're going to say. I'll put it this way, right? Because yeah, it's crazy, man. So $6.50 for eggs. That's like $10 for me in Australian. Yeah, so like Pat McAfee has signed a deal with ESPN, and of course things will change. And I know some people are trying to, picture him as a sellout, but I think if you put yourself in those shoes, you don't know what's going to happen. I'll put it this way. If ESPN came to me and said, hey, Mark, we'll give you $1 million a year. We like your show. We think it's cool. We think it's got potential. We want to market you to the whole of America. We'll give you $1 million a year, but you can't say hooly dooly. Now, wouldn't that be a conflict of interest? Something that I love to say, a slang word that I love to say. However, if money gets involved, you don't know what to do you? $1 million would be life-changing, but I can't say hooly dooly. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So Pat McAfee's getting a lot of, bad lighting because he's going to ESPN and he can't say F and he can't do certain things. He's still got control of it, but it will be a little bit different. But at the same time, if ESPN said, Mark, we like your channel. We want to, make sure you go around the whole of America, but you can't say hooly dooly, you would think about it. You'd be like, well, I do like saying it and I love it, but $1 million is $1 million. You know what I mean? So it's hard to think. I don't know. The NFL is getting that big though too. The NFL streaming service is getting massive. The NFL, of course, has all the big primetime games. They sell the jerseys. They're all about making the coin. They really are. They're all about making the coin, making the money. and their product in the field is top tier. It's why we love it. I love watching the games. I love watching the highlights and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was the big news I think I heard today was that McAfee was signing with ESPN, but it might be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, guys, that's kind of my show for today. If you guys have any, that's all I had really planned was talking about the quarterback situation. Was bringing Makenzie on. She was fantastic. And going over George's comment. Yes, they do. You're next. Yeah. Disney, like, they own everything. Disney owns everything. So, yeah, well, look out as well, guys. What I'm gonna do is what I'm gonna do in the next hour or so. I'm gonna make a video about Hakeem Butler. I think that's a really good signing for the Steelers. Of course, we've got the Mason Rudolph signing happening or should happen, but I think there's like one more position. I think when Hakeem Butler, Corey, you reported that. I don't know if I still have it here. Might have been gone by now. I don't know. It was down the list somewhere. But yeah, Hakeem Butler signing with the Steelers. So I'm going to talk about that in a quick video. But yeah, appreciate you guys, all your comments. I might head on out of here. Toddy says, how much would... Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's going to be different. It's going to be different, right? But I'm not... You know what? To be honest, I don't watch Pat McAfee. I've never seen... I used to watch him. I see like the short clips. I'm not one of those viewers that watch it for an hour or so, like in the background, or like a consistent watcher. He's just a guy, man, just a guy on the internet that's talking football. He's all right. Yeah, alrighty. So, Maury, you missed it, mate. Well, this is one fake Aussie saying goodbye. Thanks, guys. Checking out the chat. It was awesome having Makenzie in, and yeah, it was good, man. It was good. All right. Even though I got a little bit heated at the start, and I believe in Rudolph, man. Rudolph for MVP. All right, guys. I will see you later. On.
All right. Watch out. Let's go, baby. That's awesome. Woo! Kenny, what's up? Hey, what you doing tonight, man? Y'all watching TV? What y'all got going on? Hey, you ready to come back to Oakland? Hey, we're about to make you a Pittsburgh Steeler, brother. Congratulations to you and your family. Bro, we're excited to have you, man.